Hello there. Thank you for joining me again. It is 22:07 in the evening, Tuesday the 15th of December 2020. And I'm saying that because I want to say this and I want to get it down, and Matt is my witness. He is at the other side of the camera. And I have shared this with two other people previously. But about a week ago, I woke at 4:30 in the morning. And outside, it was very foggy. But as I woke, I thought that I could hear noises and movements. Although there were none naturally, I was hearing noises and movements, and something was going on. And immediately I began to think about covert operations taking place. And then I started thinking about the dream that I've shared before, which I shared in series 10, I believe, about running on the riverbank with Nigel. I'd got off a bus number 333, which is Jeremiah 33 verse 3, call unto me and I will show you great and wonderful things, of which you did not know. That is one of my verses. And we were running across the top of the banks of the river. They were very slippy, very dangerous. The river was in full flow, but Nigel was in uniform. And I think that I actually said it on that evening that he was in uniform. And of course, when we say in uniform, we don't just mean in police uniform. When we talk about anyone being in uniform, it's like military can be in uniform, police can be in uniform, hospital in uniform. But anyway, this in uniform came back to me again. And I was hearing these noises, thinking about covert operations and people who were in uniform. And of course, to run along that riverbank, we had to be very, very skilled and very careful, very watchful. But somehow we managed to do it, and I was amazed. And I was very thankful that Nigel was with me. And of course, Nigel, naturally, before he finished in the police, was a policeman for many years. But I felt as though not only we were skilled, but it was like we were special forces. So, covert operations, noises, movements going on, very skilled, special forces, and then of course we went down underground. And interestingly, as I thought about going underground, I then thought about I've been taking my mum and dad for a little drive. I'm the carer for my mum and dad. I'm the carer for my mum and dad. And I've taken them for a little drive every week just to get them out and about. And, you know, we've loved to be in the car. But a little while ago, we went past some caves. And they are famous ones. I forget the name of them. They're here in Yorkshire. And I have actually been in those caves with the family before. And I didn't like it at all. Very claustrophobic, very dark. Some of them were very low, some of them were very big, but I just didn't like the feeling of being underground. But I remembered those caves as well, and that we were underground, and it was dark, we were trapped, we were hidden under the rocks, and I had a sense of a panic. Well, this is important as I go on, because I felt that this was important to what I was thinking at the moment. So, halfway down into the earth, I went into this huge room, and it was nearly like an installation as much as it was a room. It was just a huge room that was filled with dirty pots and pans and plates everywhere, thousands of them. And I turned into Super Mario. So this is a dream that I had many years ago. I turned into Super Mario, and suddenly I'm doing all these pots and pans, and everything that's dirty is getting cleaned up. And by the time that I'd finished, everything that was dirty had been cleaned up, and it was underground. Now this is really important. So I was cleaning, washing, stacking, drying. I was putting things right again and making things clean. Things were getting cleaned up. It was supernatural, and it was accelerated. And as I thought about supernatural and accelerated, thinking about Super Mario, I then thought about running to Jezreel, and I've talked about that in some of these series. I was I'd said how Derek had given me this word about Elijah girding up his loins and running into Jezreel, which is the place of sowing, to sow into the future. And I felt as though there was something happening, covert operations, noises, movements, special forces, in places that are unseen, and things getting cleaned and put into right order again. And it was supernatural and it was accelerated. Something was going on. And then, of course, I came out of this big room and I went down. And, of course, there were many people coming up. They were going to the surface. Things were coming to the surface. People who had been hidden were coming to the surface. And as I went down, you remember, I met Hitler. And it really was Hitler. And, of course, I've seen him on film, but I was shocked that it was Hitler. But I had a gun in my pocket, which is very unusual for me. I wouldn't have a gun. But I took out the gun, like a James Bond gun, that type of pistol, and I shot Hitler in the head, and he died. He fell at the floor as though dead. And I thought I was just putting the gun away, and up Hitler got again, and I shot him again a second time, and the same happened again. Now, as I thought about the gun, I felt like the Lord said to me, this is a natural thing. You see, you can't actually shoot. There's a spirit in Hitler. An evil spirit. It was coming up from the depths of the earth. And it was coming up to the surface and it was getting exposed. And of course, naturally, you could say judgment came. It was a gun and he got shot. So physically, he may well have died. But the spirit got up again and carried on running. Which is why I shot him again. Carried on running again. And I felt like the Lord was saying to me that actually there's two things going on at once. Both are supernatural and accelerated, but there's something going on underground. Something going on that we cannot see. And what we cannot see is both natural and spiritual. I really believe that there are angels involved as well as special forces and all sorts of people involved. I don't know in what way, I don't know what's going on fully. But anyway, I carried on going down and there were still these few people running past me, which showed me that somehow, God was showing me, call unto me and I will show you great and wonderful things of which you do not know, and reveal to you those things. God was showing to me that evil was surfacing. It was coming up out of somewhere, that things were being cleared out. And interestingly, as I thought about that, I then thought that I heard helicopters. And of course it was foggy, so there was no helicopters. But I really sounds like I can hear helicopters. And I felt like the Lord said, you're hearing something that you're going to see soon. You're hearing it before you see it. And of course you can say that I was seeing it in a spiritual bit, but I felt like he's saying to me, you're going to see it in the natural. It's not going to be hidden. Something's going to happen and we are going to see it. Now interestingly, I don't know if you remember this, but the tsunami of 2005, of course everybody nearly remembers it, and it happened somewhere between Christmas and the New Year. For some reason, as I heard the helicopters, I started thinking about the tsunami that happened in 2005. And of course the tsunami started and it happened above. It happened above. But I felt like the Lord said to me, there's a tsunami going on and it's underground. And no one can see it, but you are feeling it. And you are hearing it, but it's underground. And some things are going to come into light and come to the surface that we've never known about. And there are hidden places like installations underground. And I thought about CERN again. You know, this CERN. The thing that is underground in Switzerland, which is it's like it's this magnetic force field that has protons going around it that's exploding into God particles. I don't really understand it, but I thought about it again, and this time As I saw the protons coming together, I saw them exploding, and these beautiful particles of light, and I felt like the Lord said to me, thousands of children are going to be released. And again, I'm telling you what I heard. Interestingly, the night before, I'd been watching a film called 12, which was the true story of 12 men that were sent in after 12 military special forces sent in to deal with ISIS, who was and the Taliban, who were hiding in caves, and they themselves were hiding in caves as well. But some of the things that happened then are just being declassified now. But I felt like the Lord said, we're going to see some things in the coming future, and again, my timing may be wrong, but it's going to be so shocking that some of us are going to have difficulty believing it. But when it happens, I've said to Matt, when it happens, we're going to put this video out on the day that it happens. Because I didn't want to put it out too early, because it's one of those things that it's a vision, it's feelings, it's thoughts, it's things that I can't quantify. But I really believe that we are going to see some things that are shocking, that will shock us, but they are going to be good, because from it is going to be righteousness and justice, and there's going to be whole new things that happen. And please don't be shocked by the names that are going to be involved in some of the things that you're going to hear, because we're also going to be so shocked, because there's going to be people that we cannot believe took part in things that were dreadful to us even to imagine. So anyway, as I said, it's now 22:19. It's Tuesday the 15th of December, and it's 2020. And it's me signing off. If we put this out there, it will be a good day, but it will be a shocking day as well. But thank you. Bless you.